Hello everyone. Last video we have seen about the HTML5. Today we are going to see about CSS. So in the CSS3, what is CSS means? Cascading style sheets. So without cascading style sheet, if you are creating a web page, that will not be more interactive one. Okay. So the CSS plays a major role while you are creating any web application or websites. So what is CSS means? CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So here it will be describes that how the HTML elements will be displayed on the screen or any media if whatever we are using. Then one more main advantages of CSS is if you are creating the external style sheets, you can use it for the multiple places. Okay, so multiple pages can be controlled at all once if you are doing the CSS in it as an external file. Then CSS describes how the HTML element should be displayed. That we all know it, right? Then why we want to use the CSS? So CSS will be used to define your styles in the web pages, including how your element should be present, how your layout, and how the web page will be designed for different devices and the different scan sheet. It will be varies, right? So everything will be controlled in CSS. So this is the syntax for the CSS. CSS consists of the selector and the declaration block. It contains two blocks, selector block and the declaration part. So here this H1 is the selector, that is the HTML element, and in the declaration part we are having the attributes and the attribute values. So you can call this is a property or a property value, okay, or you can call it as an attribute value. So how we will be declaring these things means enclosed using this curly braces. So first you have to use the property name followed by property value. If you are using more than one property, that should be separated using the semicolon. So here we have used two properties. One is color and next one is the font size. So color I have given as blue and the font size I have given as 12px. Okay. Next one we'll see with an example. Okay. So here P is the paragraph tag. I hope you all know all the HTML tags, right? So P denotes the paragraph tag. It contains the two properties. Okay, so what are the two properties means? Color and the text align. So for the color we have assigned the value green yellow, and text align we are given the value as center. Okay, so here the P will act as a selector in CSS and these color and text align will be the property. Okay, so the text will be aligned center and that particular paragraph will be in center as well as the color will be in the green yellow. Clear? Okay. Next one, in CSS if you are taking, it contains the different types of selectors. Okay, that is the element selector, ID selector, class selector, universal selector, goes on. So first we'll see what is CSS element selector. So CSS element selector, it selects a particular element based on the element name. For example, if you are giving a P elements on the web page, it will be aligned center with the red text because it will be applicable for only to the paragraph, not for the other elements. Okay, wherever the P is applicable in the document, all the P tags content will be aligned center and that will be in the red color. Okay, so this will be the based on the element. So that's why we are calling it as an element selector. Next one, CSS ID selector. So CSS ID selector will be using in an attribute. That is the ID attribute will be using in a particular element. So this ID element is unique for within the page. Okay, only one unique element will be using for the ID selector. To select an ID element, you have to use the hash character followed by the element. See the example. So here we are having the hash symbol followed by the para 1. So para 1 is the element. Okay. So here we are defining what that particular ID should do. if you are calling that id. So para 1 will be defined that align text align will be center and the color will be in the red color. So paragraph, that is p tag. Inside the p tag, the id is the attribute. You are assigning the id value, that is para 1 will be called, and you are giving the text which should be appeared in the websites, that is the para 1 having the red and center, right? So hello world will be in the center and the red color. This will be applicable for particular id only. Next one, class selector. So class selector will be having the class attribute. To write a class attribute, that is the class selector, you have to use the dot symbol followed by the class name. So we'll see with an example. Dot center. So here the dot center will be the class selector, okay, and here the class selector will be having the center and the red. So here all the thing red and center, red and aligned paragraph and the heading, both for h1 and the p, this center class will be applied. Next one, universal. So universal means will be using the symbol star symbol will be using, that is asterisk symbol will be using in the web page, okay. And that is the star means it will be having the text align center, color will be new. This will be for wherever whatever the element we are using in that particular page, all HTML elements will be in the center and the blue color, okay. Next one, CSS, that is a simple selector. So we have seen the id, class and element selector, universal selector. You can combine more than one elements also, that is if for division and the p, if you are using the element, we can use div comma p, okay. So this is the example. So these are the selector which we'll be using in the CSS, okay. So next we'll see about, in the next class we'll see about the CSS types, okay. Thank you.